Shabbat Shalom. Let's discuss the paradox of wine. We just finished the holiday of Purim, during which wine plays a significant role in the story and in how many Jews celebrate the holiday. Coming up is Pesach, where we'll drink 4 cups of wine towards the concept of liberation and redemption. We drink in abundance, basically, enjoying the joy of being free. And this week we have Parshat Shmini, in which the prohibition for the Kohanim, the priests, to be at all intoxicated while doing their service in the temple comes immediately after the story of the violent deaths of Nadav and Avihu, Aaron's sons, priests in training, who were killed on the altar because they brought a Eish Zara, a strange fire, to the altar. And rabbinic tradition understands the narrative from the prism of the law which follows. They reason that it must be that Nadav and Avihu were punished for having been drunk while working in the temple. It was intoxication that made the fire strange, according to that midrash. So which is it? Is wine redemptive, or is wine dangerous? Is wine the proper mode of celebration and sanctification, like at Kiddush, or at a wedding, or a bris, or a Purim? Or does wine lead us down a slippery slope of desecration and violation? The answer, of course, is both. And the tradition recognizes that. The issue is not wine per se, it's the wine drinker. What is the drinker's motivation for drinking? And how much will the drinker consume? Will the drinker use the stuff as a gentle enhancer of reality, or a doomed weapon against boredom and listlessness? Because it's the answer to those questions that determine whether wine will lead to holiness or to degradation. As Rabbi Shlomo Riskin points out, there is a clue about where the line should be drawn in the Havdalah ceremony. Havdalah is also recited over wine when we end Shabbat. And Havdalah is about distinction. It's about the ability to discern between Shabbat and the rest of the week, between light and dark, between the holy and the mundane. And Rabbi Riskin believes it's as if the ceremony is in and of itself a test. Here you have a cup of wine with its potential both to sharpen one's appreciation for holy things, as well as to blur the crisp distinctions on which Judaism rests. When we ask God to grant us the ability to distinguish, we must challenge ourselves to channel the wine so that we are only elevated by it and not numbed by it to God's divisions and categories. I think we can apply this principle to our relationship with all alcohol. Personally, I enjoy a good scotch, and I experience alcohol as an amplifier. If I'm feeling joyful, a glass of wine will add to my joy. And if I'm feeling sad, the alcohol will bring me lower. Recognizing wine's power and recognizing the reasons for when we drink, I think will help us integrate the potentially wonderful substance into our lives in the most Jewish of ways. As Rabbi Moshe Aaron Polioff once wrote, "If you are empty inside and expect the wine to put in the joy, the wine will only lead to forgetfulness and drunkenness. But if you are filled inside with a deep sense of self-worth and accomplishment, and if you see the wine as an expression of your own state of human happiness, then the wine will lead to true rejoicing, sanctity, and remembrance of the divine." So let's approach this Shabbat and Kiddush with joy, so that the wine will truly help us rejoice in God's gift of rest. Shabbat Shalom.